Hey everyone. Please support what I do to help keep Greyhawk alive by subscribing to the channel. Also, please consider becoming a channel member to get early access to videos, exclusive live chats, quarterly adventure modules, and more. Thanks, and enjoy the show. Well, my series on the Archdevils was pretty popular, so I thought I'd continue with the literary and occult origins of the Dukes of Hell, today on Greyhawk Grognard. So first up, we got to talk about what is a Duke of Hell. Um, and they appear first in the Monster Manual 2, and they don't really define what a Duke is. It seems that the Dukes are still powerful individual figures who are subordinate to an Archdevil. So, for example, Amon is a vassal of Geryon. But it's not a strict definition because we have another Archdevil who's also a vassal of another one. So it's more a combination of independence and power level, but they're still very powerful individuals. I just wouldn't give them the special abilities of a lesser deity like you would for an archdevil. Maybe a demigod is more appropriate in that case. So first up, we have Amon. And according to the Monster Manual 2, Amon is a vassal of Geryon, mustering and commanding up to 40 companies of bone devils recruited from his fief. He is large and strong, typically attacking with a huge +3 mace and a vicious bite as well. He has a winter wolf with him of largest size. He causes fear by his gaze. He also can summon and control all wolves within a 1 mile radius, and has a head of a wolf on a human torso. Um, Obviously, the antecedent is the Egyptian god Amun. Amun was a very important deity attested to in the Old Testament. The Old Testament. Attested to in the Old Kingdom, in the pyramid texts, where he's called the Invisible One or the One who cannot be seen. He was also a Cushite god who kind of gained prominence in Egypt once Egypt conquered Cush. He was also, I believe, a Canaanite god with a ram's head. And later on in the New Kingdom, he was merged with several other Egyptian deities, including Ra, the sun god. So that's where we get Amun Ra as the name of an Egyptian deity. It's a merging of the two. Now, Amun does appear in our other sources, and so we have here the Infernal Dictionary. Amun, great and mighty Marquis of the Infernal Empire, he has the figure of a wolf with a serpent's tail. He vomits flames when he takes human form. He has a man shape, but only the body. The head looks like that of an owl, and its beak are very sharp canine teeth. Um, so on and so forth. So, in fact, they have this nifty picture of him. So while it doesn't look like the image in the Monster Manual 2, we do have that wolf kind of coming in. We also get it in the Lesser Key of Solomon. Same image, but we have here the seventh spirit is Amun. He is a Marquis of great power and most stern. He appeareth like a wolf with a serpent's tail, vomiting out of his mouth flames of fire. So yeah, we get it. He telleth all things past and to come. He procureth feuds and reconcileth controversies between friends. So that's an interesting little bit there. So we do have a little bit of the Monster Manual ishness of it with the wolf, with the connection to wolves, because he's got the body of a wolf in the sources. So but it's definitely veering away from the Egyptian source material, but we do see where it's coming from. So that's Amun. Next up, we have Bael, who is in the Monster Manual 2. Bael is a vassal to Mammon, commanding 68 companies of barbed devils. They talk about his armor. Bael is a well-formed humanoid with golden skin. His head is rather long and has small, forward-curling bull's horns. His features are rather bovine, with large round eyes and a long and broad nose and protruding ears. So, Bael is one that comes from our many sources. First, we have the Dictionary of Angels. Baal meaning Lord or Master Baal in the Canaanite. So we get that in a lot of formulations of Canaanite deities, Lord of this, Lord of that. Um, in the Zohar, Baal is the Zohar is a Jewish mystical text, which I have one around. I just didn't have it handy. However, in the grimoires and in Wyrus, he is a great king of the underworld, serving in the eastern division of hell, and attended by 60 or 70 legions of devils. So that's the 66 companies of devils that we get in the in the Monster Manual, which is a neat touch. He manifests when invoked as a creature with three heads: toad, man, and cat. And I actually happen to have a a statuette of Bael in that form. So he's got the body of a spider with all the legs and the three heads, which is a neat thing. Don't ask why I have that. Next up, we have in the Infernal Dictionary. Um, we've got the same picture as you just saw. Um, uh, Demon cited in the Grand Grimoire as the head of the infernal powers. He calls Baal the first king of hell. His estates are in the eastern part. He shows himself with three heads, yada, yada, yada. His voice is hoarse, but he fights very well. He makes those who invoke him fine and cunning and teaches them the way to be invisible if necessary. 66 legions obeyed him, and which is exactly the number that we get in the monster manual, which is, somebody's been doing their homework. um, and then in the Lesser Key of Solomon, we also have Baal here right off the bat, first one. Again, we have that neat thing. And this is the seal of Baal right there. The first principal spirit is a king ruling in the east called Baal. He maketh thee to go invisible. He appeareth in diverse shapes, sometimes like a cat, a toad, and sometimes like a man, and sometimes all these form at once. He speaketh hoarsely. This is his character, which is to be worn as a lawman before him when before him who calleth him forth, or else he will not do the homage. So the sources are pretty consistent on this, and we actually get a nice bit of consistency in the Monster Manual. I would have loved to have seen this version as the illustration, but you can't have everything. So that's Bail. Next up is Glasya, and Glasya is unique in the Monster Manual as she is the only princess of Hell that is described. She's not a duke. She's not an archdevil. She's her own thing. I would put her as a lesser archdevil myself, um, just because of her unique position. She's also the only female devil that we get really, well, the only female individual devil that we get any details on in the Monster Manual or Monster Manual 2. According to the Monster Manual 2, as a consort to Mammon, Glasya is one of the most powerful and influential of female devils. She does not normally engage in combat, but she has a short sword with a poison blade equal to a dagger of venom. Glasya is the daughter of Asmodeus and incredibly beautiful. Her wings, forked tail, horns, and copper-colored skin betray her origins. Now, this is an interesting one because there really is no figure in the literature to correspond to Glasya. However, there is in the Lesser Key of Solomon a devil called Glaziolabolus, that's hyphenated. The 25th spirit is Glaziolabolus. He is a mighty president and earl, and showeth himself in the form of a dog with wings like a griffin. He teacheth all arts and sciences in an instant, and is an author of bloodshed and manslaughter. He teacheth all things past and to come. If desired, he causeth to love both of friends and of foes. He can make a man go invisible, and he hath under his command 36 legions of spirits. His seal is thus, and there's the seal right there. So what seems to have happened here is they took the half of the name and they did a gender swap and they turned it into this princess, which is an interesting thing. I mean, I like the idea that there are these female devils that have great influence. Kind of I picture it like behind the scenes, whispering in ears and things like that. But it's neat, and the fact that the name does derive from the Lesser Key is also a neat thing. So. I've never really done anything with Glasya in my campaigns, although I've always wanted to. It's just never been appropriate, never fit in, and I don't want to just shoehorn it. But definitely one of my favorites, and the illustration doesn't hurt. So, so yeah, that's Glasya. Next up, we have Hutijin. And Hutijin is an anomaly here. I have looked and looked and looked. I can't find any sources that have a name even close to Hutijin. And if I'm missing something, if somebody knows what I've missed, please let me know in the comments, because I have scoured all my books and I can't find it. The Monster Manual 2 says Hutijin commands 2 companies of pit fiends in service to Mephistopheles. These creatures are, in fact, the aristocracy of the 8th plane, just as Hutijin is one of the greatest of Hell's dukes. He uses a net of snaring and a +3 trident. Hutijin resembles a pit fiend, although his wings are proportionately smaller and his head is larger. His hide is a dark rust color red. That's it. I got nothing. And like I say, if somebody knows I've missed something, please let me know in the comments. And last but not least, we come to Titvilus. Titvilus is, in the Monster Manual, notorious for his ability to twist words, to use words to confuse, and to confuse those using words. Fittingly, he is the messenger for Dispotter. He is not large nor particularly strong, but he is most clever. It is said that Titvilus possesses a silver sword of wounding. However, he normally uses his other powers. Titvilus appears as very similar to a satyr, but he is actually more human-looking, save for his bat-like wings. His skin is pale, but his cheeks are slightly ruddy. Now, this is an interesting case, because Titvilus is not found in any of our magical occult sources. He is what you might call a literary devil. He was first mentioned in a sermon in the 13th century, where it says, "I have heard that a certain holy man, while in the choir, saw a devil truly weighed down with a full sack. When, however, he commanded the demon to tell him what he carried, the evil one said, 'These are the syllables and syncopated words and verses of the Psalms, which these very clerics in their morning prayers stole from God. You can be sure I am keeping these diligently for their accusation.'" Basically, Activilus's function is to take all the words that priests and worshippers flub or forget in their prayers. So if you stumble over a word, or if you forget to include a word in your prayer, that he will take that word and shove it in a sack and bring it to hell. It's the weirdest thing. And you got to imagine this was invented by somebody who was really a stickler for proper diction and stuff in church. And he was just so annoyed at people goofing up the prayers that he invented this guy. It was first given a name a little later on by in around 1285 in a penitential. A penitential is we got these medieval handbooks of penance. Basically, it's a rules for what price you have to pay, what punishment you have to suffer for different infractions. And in this one, John of Wales gave pretty much the same description, but gave him the name Titvilus, and he's called the patron demon of scribes. So if you like, same thing with your, if you're saying the prayer aloud, if you goof up a text that you're working on as a scribe, you're also falling under his dominion. I think this is just an amazingly funny and cool job for a demon, for a devil, to go around picking up words that other people missed or mispronounced. It's wonderful, and of course that feeds right into the description we're given in the Monster Manual about ability to twist words and use words to confuse and so forth. That literary association is really strong with this one. So I'm happy to go out on a high note on this guy. So anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this series on the Archdevils and the Dukes of Hell. I've had a lot of fun putting it together, and I've learned a lot of stuff myself. And it's really neat to see just how broad Gary Gygax's and the other people who were involved in the early days of AD&D, how broad their knowledge was, and how much they were able to draw in from all kinds of disparate sources. So I hope you've had as much fun with this as I have. I'll be doing other things, digging into some aspects of rules and histories and so forth. But anyway, if you like this one, let me know what you think in the comments, and I will talk to you later. Thanks for watching today's video. Please remember to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Below you'll find links to my Patreon, which helps make these videos possible. You'll also find the web store where you can buy my books, and my blog where you'll find all sorts of free downloads and other articles. Thanks, and have a great day.